Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Modern Monarchy. I think this is episode 12. Who knows anymore? Um, Today might be a shorter episode. I have 3 pages of notes. I normally stick to 6. I normally have to chop it down to 6. But today we have 3. But it's a lot of information. It's not a story time, so I feel like this is just going to be like a lot.
Very heady.
Yeah. When I had first started the notes, I thought I wanted to talk about the peerage as a whole. So, like, talk about titles and styles, but I also wanted to do crests, coats of arms, and like how people use their monograms. But I think that's too much for one episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe that.
You most definitely will have questions that I can't answer.
Okay. That's like my whole job here.
There's a lot of things when it comes to different forms of address for the peerage that are, I don't know if they've fluctuated over time or the rules are a little loosey-goosey. But even, do you remember in the episode where we talked about Meghan and Harry's children, and people said that her name wasn't correct on the birth certificate?
Yes.
And they said, somebody at the palace said I had to put my name this way. And the guy was like, you can really do whatever you want. It's not a big of a deal. And I guess if you want to say I told you to do that, that's fine with me. So there's a lot of stuff like that. And like, I've seen people in their videos say like, it's 100% you say it this way, and it's 100% you don't say it this way. And it's usually around the word the. And we will get to the word the.
What a crazy thing to say as an adult.
It's usually in reference to trying to crap on Meghan and say she's dumb. We'll get to it. Anyways.
Okay.
There will probably be people in the comments saying I am wrong about stuff. And that's fine. You can say that. I will say that I did a lot of my research from Debrett's, which is a professional coaching company, publisher, an authority on etiquette and behavior that was founded in 1769, and they have been recording information about the peerage since 1769. Also,
So check yourself before you comment.
the College of Arms, the official heraldic authority for England, Wales, and Northern Ireland, and much of the Commonwealth, including Australia and New Zealand. But Scotland has its own peerage system called the Court of the Lord Lion. This is the official authority on Scottish peerage and heraldry. Okay?
Okay. I do love your asterisk before this episode starts. I know what I'm talking about.
Start up. I got her from these people.
And if you want to call them wrong,
Yeah.
that's on you. Take it up with them.
Some notes are from Wikipedia, but I'm not going to tell you which ones.
What?
What? I said, but I'm not going to tell you which ones.
I was going to say it. I'm like, well, at least they cite their sources now.
They do. And Wikipedia lately, every time I go on it, is like, give me $3, please. And I'm like, I never have.
What makes you think I'm going to change now?
I don't wanna.
Thank you for your information.
I hope somebody does.
Somebody has to be. It's still around. They've been asking for money for years.
I know. They haven't fallen apart. Let's start off with, what even is the peerage? Peerage, the word, is the term for, it is the collective name for peers of the realm, basically the aristocracy. Peers are people who hold one or more title, originally given by a monarch that is passed down to them from a direct ancestor. Even before the peerage was officially a thing, obviously, people like to divide themselves up into classes. I think it's just like the haves like to hang out with the haves, and the have-nots don't really have a choice in this.
Sounds about right.
In feudal times, peers swore an oath of loyalty in exchange for protection, property, and or money. So loyalty to the monarch, obviously. We will go over the 5 different titles in the peerage. You'll notice that the names seem to have different origins. Like some seem more English words and some seem more Frenchy. And that's because these titles were kind of introduced into the system at different times in history. Peers could be called to council or parliament, forming the origins of the House of Lords. The House of Lords, as we discussed in the Prince Charles episode, I believe, all the seats were taken up by people who they inherited their spot in the House of Lords until 1999. It's no longer hereditary. It's experts that have been like nominated to be part of the House of Lords.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you're in the House of Lords, you can create your own life peerage, which is you create your own title and you get to have that for life, but you can't pass it down to your children.
Okay.
I think because if they could pass it down to their children, I think eventually everybody would be a peer.
Fair.
Fun fact, Prince Charles was a member of the House of Lords from 1970 to 1999. I think he just went to the official ceremony where they took him in as one of the members of House of Lords, but he did not actually run the government.
Like, you can sit with us, but you can't do anything.
So, talking about how titles are passed down, British peers pass down to sons, usually the firstborn son, unless something happens. But a lot of the Scottish names, a lot of the Scottish titles, you could pass it down to a daughter if there were no boys to give it to.
Cool.
Yeah. So this brings in the terms heir apparent versus heir presumptive. An heir apparent is the one who is like your firstborn son. He cannot be replaced by anybody else. But your heir presumptive is like, we think she's gonna be the queen, but if the king and queen have a son, you're out of here.
Right. You're just keeping the seat warm unless
Right.
something changes.
We think it's gonna be you, but don't get too comfy.
Don't get too presumptive.
So I was thinking about the fact, like, what if? Because all the other peerage titles, you can only hand them down to a son. But the king and queen spot can go to either or. What if the king and queen spots weren't just like the rest of the peerage and you could only give it to a son? Which would totally disqualify Elizabeth, right?
Right.
So, here we are. Queen Elizabeth's over here.
Right.
let's say she can't be queen. We'd have to go, after King George dies, we'd have to go to his next brother, Prince Henry, who was Duke of Gloucester. And that means that today we would have King Richard, or whatever name he chooses, instead of him being today's Duke of Gloucester. This would be the king.
Interesting.
Look at him. He looks like he
Look
could be
at
a
him.
king. Look at him.
He does look like he could. He looks more like college professor-esque to me.
Maybe. Yeah? He seems lovely.
He seems nice. He seems fine. Again, sorry for those of you who are not watching. You are missing out.
Fun fact, he is also a second son. So we got a lot of second son action happening in this family. He had an older brother who passed away in like the 70s.
Ooh, from what? Was he gay?
He got in a plane accident.
For some reason, I was just like, was that around the time of AIDS? That was the 80s, wasn't it?
Oh, that was the 80s. I think
And
like,
the reason that I say that is I feel like they would want to like get rid of somebody like that.
oh, I feel like they wouldn't for someone that close to the crown because it would be
Frowned upon?
obvious. It would be a little obvious.
I mean, people still think the whole Diana thing was a conspiracy.
Which Diana thing? The accident?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of thoughts on that, and no matter how many times they like have police people investigate the situation, it doesn't matter what they come up with.
Right.
They say that the biggest reason that she died was because the driver was drunk and they were going too fast and she wasn't wearing a seatbelt. But my problem with that is they point to the video footage before he gets in the car and they're like, you can clearly see he's inebriated. And I'm looking at this guy in the videos and I'm like, he looks fine. Like, he's not staggering. He seems fine. I mean, he might be inebriated and it doesn't look like it, but you're not proving your point here. And then when they say, well, they tested his blood for the blood alcohol content, and I'm just like, I don't trust what you came up with.
I was gonna say, I'm like, okay, cool. Nobody's ever forged a document ever.
Sure, that's what you say. Mm-hmm.
This is what I mean, though, where it's like, I feel like with stuff like this, you can so easily just fall down the rabbit hole of like conspiracy theory.
Yeah, you can.
It's like, they didn't die of natural causes, they were killed.
Murder.
This is gonna end up being one of those little like snippet things, I bet. Like YouTube's like, Cassie suspects conspiracy theory of.
Oh, my little AI program that tries to tell me what clips to do, and it's like,
Yes.
this is Cassie's rant.
About
Cassie's really angry about this.
I bet it's gonna do that.
It probably will. Okay.
Anyways.
Here is the line of the Earl of Sutherland. This is just an example of what it looks like when you can pass it down to a daughter.
Okay.
I'm just pointing out that, okay.
You're just pointing out that it can literally go forever.
Well, yeah, you can go forever because your line doesn't just go extinct. But also because women get married and usually take their husband's name, the last name of the family will change. And at some point, somebody won't like that anymore. And they're like, I'm the Earl of Sutherland. I'm changing my name back to Sutherland. And it goes for a little bit longer. And then you hit another woman and she gets married and the name changes again.
Also, I like that it goes to Granville, Sutherland, Levison, Gower.
Yeah. I feel like, that was in the 17 and 1800s. The more last names, the better.
Cover all your bases.
There have been attempts by members of parliament to bring some more equality to the peerage in the UK. Um,
Like recently or over the years?
in the last 20 years.
Okay, that sounds about right.
I would say like the 2010s is one I can think of. They have tried to bring in a bill to allow the peerage to pass their titles on to a firstborn daughter. That didn't go through. And also, they tried to bring in a bill to allow same sex marriages share titles, or at least come up with something that they could do. Because right now, if the Duke of whatever marries a man, his husband doesn't get a title. But if he married a woman, she gets to be a duchess.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So the crown does not have the power to cancel or revoke a peerage once it has been created. A peerage can only be removed from an individual by an act of parliament, which is the problem we're having with people like Andrew and Harry, where a lot of people want their titles revoked, but A, I don't think Charles would do it, and B, he can't. It has to be parliament.
Got it. And does it have to be like a majority, like everybody?
Well, they have to pass an actual bill. So, or an act.
Got it.
So a good example of this was in 1915, George V removed 7 German and Austrian royals who didn't even live in the UK, but they were on the roll of Knights of the Most Noble Order of the Garter. So he took them out of the Order of the Garter because that's what he could do. But in 1917, Parliament passed the Titles Deprivation Act, and it authorized the removal of titles from enemies of the United Kingdom during the First World War. I don't know why I did a little upspeak there, but there you go. And it was basically a lot of aristocratic people who had German, Austrian last names. They're like, you can't be part of the peerage. So this is also the same year that King George changed the royal family's last name from Saxe-Coburg-Gotha to Windsor.
It's a lot easier to say. It rolls off the tongue a little bit better.
Exactly. I mean, when you never use your last name, what's the difference?
Fair.
This is also the same year that the Mountbattens became Mountbattens because they are actually the Battenbergs.
Ooh.
Okay, so titles versus styles. The title is your rank in British nobility. A style is how you are addressed, what people call you.
Okay.
Okay. Start off with kings and queens. Obviously, the male version is the king, the female is a queen, and the thing they rule over is a kingdom. We know those ones. You can have a queen regnant, who is the queen in her own right, and she is the one ruling the country, and a queen consort, who is just a queen who is married to the king regnant.
Right.
Well, you don't need to say king regnant because the queen, because of the, because, not yet.
Damn it. I thought I had it.
Because if a queen is in power and she marries a man, he is not a king. Because the patriarchy. It's even ruining men's lives. Um,
Uh,
you can't call him a king because it sounds like he's in charge.
right.
Just ridiculous.
What an assumption to make in a patriarchal society.
Yeah. So that's why Prince Philip was a
This
prince
Prince Philip.
and a duke. But we'll get into that in a second. Right now, we'll go over the line of succession because we're going to talk about why it looks the way it does now. So we're going to see that there's the Prince of Wales. He's the next one. Then you have Prince George, and then Prince Charlotte, and then Prince Louis, noticing that all those children are in order of birth.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the boys and then Charlotte. And then you have the Duke of Sussex, unfortunately, the Prince Archie and Lilibet. The Duke of York, unfortunately. And then Princess Beatrice, who's also known as Mrs. Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi. And then their children, Miss Sienna, and Miss Athena. And then Princess Eugenie, who's married to Jack Brooksbank. And their sons, Master August and Master Ernest. Fun fact, little boys are known as Master So-and-so until they reach about the age of 12, and then they turn into Mr.
That's funny.
Isn't it adorable?
It's honestly a choice.
Just like a little 5-year-old, and you're like, Master August.
It just seems like they have so much more power than they do.
You know?
And then you're like downgraded to Mister. Everybody's a Mister.
I was a master before. Then you have the Duke of Edinburgh, his son, the Earl of Wessex, which we'll talk about that in a minute, and then his sister, the Lady Louise Mountbatten Windsor. Then the Princess Royal, who's Princess Anne, her son Peter, Mr. Peter, his children, Miss Savannah, Miss Isla. I don't
Probably
think I've ever
Iowa.
heard. Isla?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say her name.
I guess she's not that important.
And then Mrs. Mike Tyndall, who is Zara, which is Anne's daughter. And then her children, Miss Mia, Miss Lena, and Master Lucas. Let's talk about Charlotte.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about it. So, in 2013, Queen Elizabeth wanted to make sure that Charlotte didn't get put behind her brothers in the line of succession. So she passed the Crown Act to change it to birth order now. It has nothing to do with gender anymore.
Nice. So if you're born first, it's you.
Sweet. Sweet. Love it. So if you noticed, on the line of succession, it still went Charles's line, and then Prince Andrew's line, and then Prince Edward's line, and then Princess Anne.
Right.
Because this only affects anybody born after October 2011.
Right. Makes sense.
So
You can't go back
Anne
and
is
fuck the whole thing up.
right. So Anne is still behind her brothers.
Which is a bummer.
Also, this act removed the ban on individuals who marry Roman Catholics to be in the line of succession. So you can't be a Catholic in the line of succession. But it's no longer the case that if you get married to one, you get kicked out.
Well, good, I guess. Yay for love. What a win for love.
Yay! Okay. After kings and queens, we have Prince, the female princess. And this isn't really a peerage title, but I kept it in because it is a title.
I was gonna say it feels weird to not have like king and queen and not have like prince and princess in here.
I think it's because you don't inherit your prince or princess title. You can only be a prince or princess if you are born into the family. You have to be a blood royal to be a princess or a
Right.
prince. So that's why when people say like Princess Diana or Princess Catherine, that's not correct.
Got it.
And I always find it weird. I mean, you could get away with saying that because they are Princess of Wales, that you could call them Princess Catherine, but it really kind of implies that you're a blood royal.
Got it.
Um, the title can only go to children and grandchildren of the monarch. And now, um, Elizabeth also changed that it can go to the monarch's great grandchildren only through like the firstborn sons.
Got it.
That's why William's kids could be prince and princess while the queen was still alive, but Harry's couldn't.
Got it.
Okay, now we have Duke. The Duke. And the female version is.
Duchess.
And a Duke runs a.
Dukeship.
Love it. No. It's a dukedom. Like a kingdom,
Ah.
but a dukedom.
Okay, fine.
Fun fact. The monarch, in their like hidden titles, they are also the Duke or Duchess of Lancaster because the monarch owns the Duchy of Lancaster.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh, my next note was that royal dukes outrank princes who are not also dukes. Do you remember in The Crown, towards the beginning, Prince Philip was having like a conniption over the fact that he was a prince, even though he was married to a queen, and therefore his son outranked him.
Yes, I do kind of remember this now that you say it.
But as Duke of Edinburgh and being a royal duke, he now outranked his son.
Right. Because isn't that
Yeah.
why they kind of gave it to him? Because he threw a fit.
I don't I don't know if he actually threw a fit in real life or if this was just like an
Somebody
obvious
realized
move,
it.
an obvious move to make. Like everybody else who gets married into the royal family gets some sort of title. So why wouldn't the man who is essentially king consort, why wouldn't he have a title?
Literally, the first thing when you go to type in "Did Prince Philip," the first thing that pops up. What do you think it is?
Cheat on the queen?
1,000%. Ding, ding, ding. You win $0. But that is exactly what it is. And then, just so you know, the next one, actually, real quick, this is funny. Speak Greek. Cheat on the queen. Like Diana. Love Queen Elizabeth. Have cancer. Serve in World War II. Ever cheat on the queen. Died.
Did he died?
Did Prince Philip died?
He did died. I
He
can tell
died.
you that one.
So dead. Anyways, I just had to
Dead.
tell you that because it was so funny. But like, literally, 3 on this list are some variation of cheat on the queen, and one of them was did he love her? So the people
Yeah.
want to know. Anyways,
People want to know. I don't know how I don't know how you would get a definitive answer on that one.
Did he cheat on her? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Like, I don't know how you would know that he definitely did.
I mean, I think if
Like,
he
you can
did,
only go off of what people say. And people were saying that, like, Diana was having affairs with people that she was just flirting with because she seemed
right.
to flirt with a lot of people.
So while there are obviously fictional portrayals of this, there's no evidence from a reputable historical source to support the claim. His
Yeah.
name is cleared.
Okay.
Anyway,
The rest of these titles, I don't really have a ton of fun facts about. We're just going to go through them. After a duke is a marquis. Do you
what's with the
know?
strawberry leaves? Why strawberry leaves?
I think it's like a fleur-de-lis kind of deal.
Why strawberries? I only ask because my last name is
Oh,
Gold.
it says gold strawberry leaves.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not focusing on the coronets over here.
The
I'm
aesthetic.
I needed the names and I needed a picture.
Okay, fine. Anyways,
Anyways, I asked you a question.
Marquess. Marquesdom.
Female. What's up? The female version of
Mar-
a mark.
Marquis.
No,
Ah, damn it.
it's it's a marchioness.
I was never going to get that.
Obviously.
And
Okay.
so, Mercestum?
No, it's a marquisate.
Who's make this? These are the French ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
The French.
Next one down is an earl. The wife of an earl is.
I don't remember.
Would it help if I said that earl is the English word for what the continental Europeans call a count?
Oh, so a countess.
Mm-hmm.
So I almost said that, but then I was looking at Viscount and I was like, oh, maybe it's supposed to go with
Mm.
Viscount. But that's a Viscountess, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then a Baroness.
Okay, so what does an earl rule over?
An earldom.
Yay!
I'm just gonna try each time and eventually I'll get it.
Okay, we got Viscount married to a Viscountess. You already said it. Rules over a.
Viscountdom.
No!
Viscountette.
Viscounty.
Oh, is that where we get county from?
I don't know, maybe.
Well, not.
I told you, you're gonna have questions I haven't looked up.
Uh, comes from Font, Old French. Yeah. Comitatus. Oh no, but it does say, so this actually does say the word county originates from the Anglo-Norman French count with an E at the end, derived from the Latin comitatus, meaning the jurisdiction of a count, aka an earl.
Obviously, the word county comes from Earl.
Obviously. Anyways.
After a viscount is a baron married to a
Baroness.
ruling over a
Barondom. Barondy. Baron.
barony.
Oh, fine.
A barony.
That sounds like the Good Place, Jeremy Bearimy.
Yes, he is actually a baron.
It all makes sense now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, how to address these fine people? Your king and queen are his, her, their, your majesty. A prince or a princess. I'm just gonna go with the male version. and you can figure out the other ones. Um, so like a prince, you would call them Your Royal Highness, His Royal Highness, which is another thing people want to take away from Andrew and Harry is their HRHs. Because I think that's something that the monarch can do.
Got
And more than just like right now, they've agreed to not use them, even though Megan keeps putting it on everything.
everything.
Jesus. Duke, when you talk about the Duke in the third person, like I'm talking about the Duke of Gloucester, I would call him the most noble, the Duke of Gloucester.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Okay.
To his face, I would say, Your Grace.
Okay.
Marquis is the most honorable.
Oh my god. So I gotta know them by their qualities.
Hmm.
Okay.
And to their face, it is my lord or your lordship
Okay.
or lord, whatever they're marquis of. An earl, a viscount, and a baron are all the right honorable bleh.
But not the most honorable. The right honorable.
And they all are also my lord, your lordship, lord, whatever of.
Got it.
Talking about children
Oh my gosh.
who have like courtesy titles and styles of their own. So, the eldest son of a duke, marquis, or earl can take one of his father's lower titles. So, the Duke of Edinburgh, before he got his title, he was the Earl of Wessex. He still has the Earl of Wessex title. He is the Earl of Wessex, the
Oh, okay.
Earl of Wessex, but his son can use the title right now and be called Earl of Wessex, no the.
Got it. So he
Yeah.
okay. Got so this is where the comes into play
The
because he's not
the means
the.
you are the one in power right now. You have the job.
Got it. Versus you can keep the title warm, but you're not the person.
Yes.
Got it.
Um, any younger sons are called Lord first name, last name. Any younger daughters are Lady first name, last name. For viscounts and barons, all of their children are just the honorable first name, last name. So, like a good example of this was from the Diana episode. When we said Diana was born, she was the Honorable Diana Spencer because her father was a viscount at the time.
Got it.
Well, he had a courtesy title of viscount from his father, who was an earl. Okay?
Yeah.
And then when her grandfather died and her father became earl, that's when Diana changed to Lady Diana.
Got it.
Got
It's
it.
funny that like the Earl one's kind of funny in terms of like the younger son.
Yeah.
They're like it's
I
just
am.
funny that it's not an across the board. Here's how we do it.
Yes. For an earl, the younger son is the honorable instead of lord, but the unmarried younger daughter can be a lady. I don't get it.
I don't either.
This is 1,000 years of progress and like shuffling things around. So there's a good reason why some of this stuff doesn't make any sense.
Fair.
Now, hopefully, when I click to the next slide, it's going to be the image that I threw in right before we started this episode. It is.
Woo!
I put a picture of Charlotte's birth certificate because on all of the Wales children's birth certificate and Prince Archie's birth certificate, the names, like how they are officially styled, match going across all of them.
Got it.
So, notice that the prince, who is the blood prince, his name is His Royal Highness Prince William Arthur Philip Louis. And then it should say the Duke of Cambridge. Somebody messed that up.
Got it.
Okay? But for the married woman who married into the family, we start with her name, Catherine Elizabeth, or in Meghan's case, Rachel Meghan, Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Cambridge.
Got it.
So when we get to divorced wives, you cannot use the anymore because you are not the Princess of Wales anymore. But they do let you keep the title after you're divorced. You just can't use the. So that's why she was Diana, Princess of Wales.
Got it.
So I noticed that there's a cat coming.
I just let mine walk back and forth. It's not worth announcing her at this point. It happens so often.
I had to pause because I didn't know if she was going to step on the keyboard and mess everything up. I noticed that whenever you look these people up online, all over the place, you'll see Catherine, Princess of Wales, and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, and William, Princess of Wales, William, Prince William, Prince of Wales, but they don't have the. And so I've seen the argument online of you say, if you were to call Meghan the Duchess of Sussex, you would say the Duchess of Sussex. But if you were to call her Meghan Duchess of Sussex, you would not use the then. I don't think that's true. I think she's Meghan the Duchess of Sussex because she's not divorced.
Right, that would make sense.
That's what I'm getting from these birth certificates. I can't find examples on the royal family website itself.
Mm-hmm.
So the most official thing I have is these birth certificates.
Fair.
But if you're on like Wikipedia, everybody that they reference is always, they use their first name and then their title without the. And I don't think that's technically correct, although I also don't think it matters that much.
So it's not a battle you're willing to fight. Like if it pops up on the internet, you're not like emailing the editor and saying like, "Hey, you forgot the."
Yeah. I mean, if you want to make an argument that it matters because when Fergie got divorced and when Diana got divorced, they lost their HRHs and they lost the. And that's what made them different. But I'm not going to fight the entire internet that wants to call Catherine Princess of Wales.
That's fair.
As long as we're not calling her Kate Middleton anymore, because she's been married for 14 years at this point.
Oh my god. That's wild.
Right? That would be like in the 90s calling Diana Spencer. What?
Right.
Why? I already went over this, but this is talking about, so this is the Duke of Edinburgh and Earl of Wessex, not the Earl of Wessex. But if James were to have a son before Prince Edward dies, his firstborn son could use one of Prince Edward's even lesser titles.
Interesting.
I think he's got a couple Viscount titles. So his firstborn grandson could be Viscount of I can't remember what.
Fun.
There's too many titles going around. Okay, the last title style? I'm gonna say style. Is Dowager. So the Dowager is the widow of the person who used to have the title. So Queen Elizabeth's mother, even though we called her the Queen Mother, she was the Dowager Queen Elizabeth.
Got it.
And that works with all of their titles. The Dowager Marchioness of whatever. And there was even a note I saw that, like, if you have the Dowager Marchioness, her son is now the Marquis, and her daughter-in-law is the Marchioness. Say her son dies before she does, the mother.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have the Dowager Marchioness. That's the mother. The daughter-in-law is now just Dowager Marchioness. And then the next generation is the Marquis and the Marchioness. Because you can't have two the Dowagers.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd have a the Dowager and a Dowager.
Dowager. Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that is all I have on titles and styles. Because I feel like if I went on to heraldry, it would have been too much.
That's fair.
All right. How long is this episode?
Like an hour?
This episode's only an hour. Please tell me you're still listening.
If you've been here listening to our other ones and you haven't made it through an hour, ooh.
But if you are still listening, please give this video a like if you liked it. I'm not going to force you to do anything. Okay? Which one?
Unless you're inheriting a title from somebody, in which case you're forced to.
And then I have a lot of rules for you. I can go through the list again. But you do have to subscribe to the channel. That is a command. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. I just pass them along.
I make the rules. Subscribe.
Okay, Cassie makes the rules, and I just confer them to you.
Fabulous. Love this plan.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. This has been really brief for us, but
Right? Very
everybody
heavy.
everybody have a great week. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I may or may not have an answer.
I'm just gonna start going on our YouTube channel and writing questions because I always have.
I have a question.
I don't think we've gone a single episode where I'm not like, oh, I better look. Like, I need to look this up.
Yeah. Everybody have a great week. We will see you. Well, I will see you next Tuesday. And Cassie and I will be back in 2 weeks to talk about something. What are we going to talk about?
Fun fact, every single time we record, Josh goes, what are you learning about this week? And I go, Josh, I don't know. Because, like, you gave me a list of, like, the order that we're going in. But I like it better when I just show up and I learn something new.
Yeah, you wanted the list to begin with so you would have an idea of, like, what kind of questions you were going to have or something. Or, like, what kind of input you might have. And that's kind of just gone out the window.
A little bit. Like I said, I'm like aware that the list exists. I know that we're kind of like the general order of things we're going in. And I trust that you, as the captain of the ship, have our best interests at heart.
I got you. Okay?
I know you do. It's just funny. Every single time we record, Josh goes, "What are you learning about this week?" And every week I go, "I don't know." And he goes, "I should have remembered that from last time."
I'm going to tell you right now. In 2 weeks, we will be back to talk about Catherine, Her Royal Highness, the Princess of Wales.
Woo!
Heavy
Not
emphasis on the.
not Kate Middleton.
Oh, God, no. All right. Have a good day. Bye.